Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to do another bit of toy photography today just because we're stuck in the house again in this social isolation. We're bored, so the little man's asleep. We thought we had like an hour or two spare, so I just got some of the old Lego out from the spare room and I thought I'd just build something different today rather than using the old fishing cabin or the Lego Simpsons house like we have been doing. What I wanted to kind of do, I wanted to do a bit more of a horror scene or a bit of a scary kind of scene. So what I'm going to do is in a second I'll show you what we've built. It's like a corridor with a door at the end. And I've got some of my little minifigures out I've got from AliExpress over the last few months. Okay, right, so here is what we've built. It is in theory just a corridor with a door at the end and a black cell. I've got one minifigure in there at the moment. I've kind of designed it in a way where I can give myself some light into the rooms. It's not the most structurally sound building I've ever built. So what it is just some grey base plates with some wall sections. I've left a grate in the side here just so I can shine a light in and have a bit of a pattern across anyone's face who's inside. And at the end, it's like a prison corridor. And then at the end you've got the cell, which is all black. I've left the top off so I can put a panel light over the top, just so you can shine down and see who's inside. Some of the figures I'll be using today is got Mike Myers from Halloween movies. Hold on, let me get this other one out that I've put in here. Jigsaw from the Saw movies. We've got Joker from the new Joker film. John Wick. We've got Deadpool. Harley Quinn. And we've got some others as well that I'm not sure if I'm going to use yet. We've got Elliot from E.T. The only reason I've used him is because he's already got a scared look on his face. So he could be one of the victims. Who else have I got? I've got the guy from Jurassic World. Again, I like his clothes, but I'm not sure if we're going to use him just yet. I've got Bane, Batman, and then I've got a load of little minifigure heads, all with different expressions on. Let me see if I can zoom in. Look at that focused. So all different expressions. I bought those on eBay for a couple of quid. They're quite handy actually if you want to change the dynamic of a picture. Also got some skulls and looks like a pumpkin, which I probably won't use. And loads of other little accessories like guns, knives, keys and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my first picture, set up the camera, set up some lights, and then we'll zoom in and have a look. Okay, right, so I've set it up. I've had a couple of little looks at what I want to do. The first picture I want is of someone running away with Jigsaw sat in the background. So I've done a quick, easy setup. Let's turn you around. Okay, right, so I've got the camera looking straight down the tunnel. We've got Jigsaw in the background there. Let me focus this for you. Okay, we've got the light going across over the back through into the rear room, which you can't really see. And then I've got my little spotlight there, which is going to be projecting into the grate if the battery hadn't just died. Okay, what I'll do is I'm going to go and get a power bank for that. Let me plug it in and I will show you the shot. Well, I've finally sorted out that light issue. That little cube light, the battery's terrible, and I thought I could run it off of a power cable, but even then, no, it just cuts out. I've tried plugging it into a computer, Now I've got it plugged into like a Motorola turbocharger and stuff. It's just not having it at all. So I thought, okay, what I'll use is my big panel light. Nope, it's way too diffused and you don't get the light pattern that I wanted. So what I'm resorting to at the moment is my iPhone propped up on some white tack and a lens with the torch showing, and then that's it. It's just sifting through. That's quite a harsh light, which is what I wanted on the pattern. So on here at the moment I've got a 55-200 with a macro lens, a macro adapter on. So the camera at the moment is set to 30 seconds, ISO 200, but this is on the maximum f-stop of what the lens can do, because these are manual adapters. So I'm going to take that picture, although I'm not going to make you wait 30 seconds. There's the image that I wanted. Elliot running away. There's a bit of light pattern coming through, and then you can see Jigsaw in the back. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap out a few of the characters, and then we'll do some other little bits. So I don't really want too many pictures. I'm thinking 4, 5 will do. Right, let's see how we go. Okay, right, so we finished our photos yesterday. By the time I finished, we had dinner and I did a couple more pictures. I didn't bother filming. I went on till about 9:30 last night, so it was quite a few hours. In all, we took about 45 pictures, and I've kind of selected 15 of them that I like. I'm not going to do any editing on this photo, on these photos in front of you on the computer. I've already done all that. I sat there last night. So what I'll do is I'm just going to quickly scan through the 15 that I've chose and why I've chosen them, what I like about them, what I don't like about them, and then you'll see from the end where I was kind of going with it all. Okay, right, so the first one was the only macro shot that I did. It's of Elliot with Jigsaw in the background. I quite like this shot. I like the fact that you're up close and personal with Elliot. I should have done some more macro photography on this. I like the way this came out, but I've kind of learnt my lesson for next time. There's a couple of bits I don't like about it. I don't like how dark it is in the background. You can't really take that darkness up without affecting Elliot too much. And then also, I don't like the fact that Elliot's got this massive hair on his face. I've tried photoshopping it out, and to be honest, I kind of lost the wheel with it. So I'm going to leave it there, but I like it. I think I need some new some macro rings. I need ones that where you can adjust the autofocus and aperture and stuff, because the ones I've got are just manual ones. So once the lens is on there, you're stuck at the aperture, and I think it's always the absolute bare minimum of what the lens is. Because I'd like to see Jigsaw's face a little bit more in focus, just so you can see who it is. Okay, right, so now we're on to the next one. Pretty much the same kind of shot, but a lot further out. This was actually a macro shot as well, because you can't see any focal length or aperture on here. So that was ISO 200, it was a 30-second shot. I like that one. Jigsaw's face is good. Again, Elliot's got the hair on his face that I didn't notice until it was too late. The only thing I'm not keen on about that is Elliot's leaning a little bit to the right hand side. So next time again, I need to be a bit more careful with how I place the figures. I was just using a bit of white tack underneath Elliot's foot there, just to be able to kind of stick him in, because I had all the base plates on the floor where you couldn't clip the figures in. Okay, right, so as you can see on these, the editing that I'm doing isn't nothing too major, just adjusting the blacks, whites, shadows and stuff. A couple of them I've added filters to, but again what I do is I go through and edit all of the photos and then add the filters after. Okay, right, so here's Jigsaw just sat in the corridor with Mike Myers behind the door at the end. Again, it's a nice photo, I like it. The only thing I would have done a little bit different is having Mike Myers a little bit more in focus. But bear in mind I was on f16 on that shot anyway. I should have gone a little bit higher on the f number to allow for that. Okay, right, so here's Joker coming through the door, a great pile of keys in front of him. I quite like this one. I like the light on the Joker. I like the fact that in this black room at the back you see the join marks in all the Lego to make it look like bricks. You can't really see the lines of the light coming through, but I don't mind that because there's enough light on Joker anyway. Okay, right, so here's Harley Quinn leading Joker out. I know they're not from the same film set, that's a different Joker to the one that she's with, but I don't have the other one in the minifigure yet. Again, use the lights to light up Harley. The room at the back had its own panel light above it anyway, so that don't look too bad. I think the further I went on with these, the better they looked. So again, same photo, but more focused on Harley on that one, and now we're focused on the Joker on that one. They're not too bad, they're just a bit basic, but they work. Alright, so next one is Deadpool. I quite like this Deadpool figure. I like the attitude on his face. The only thing with him is when you take a picture of him, the reds really are quite bright and intense, so you have to tone them down in the HSL filter on here. The only thing I don't really like is the reflection of the light on his head. So as you can see, like, see all the lines of the light. But I like, to be honest, I don't like the pile of keys there on that one. Okay, same kind of picture, but with John Wick. Again, I like this one. It's a lot simpler. There's no keys. John Wick just stood in the doorway. I like the light on the chain, so you can actually see what it is. Yep, I like that photo. I like the black on black as well. It's quite a dark photo. I like that. Okay, John Wick just about to take out Elliot from E.T. I like this Elliot figure because I like the hood, and I like the fact that his face is scared, because it acts perfectly with someone pointing a gun at you. I did add a filter to this one. I'm not sure which one it is, but like I say, I always adjust the photo first and then add the filters after. As you can see, you just put your mouse over them and then you can see which one works. And then you can go back in and change the filters again. Not the filters, the settings again. Okay, right, so next one, again, it's Joker and Harley. This one was, I wasn't sure of this one. Just because of how dark it is in the background, and the light on Joker's face is really intense. No matter what I did, I could not get it down. So I didn't notice that when I was taking a picture. By these shots, and I was having a bit of issue yesterday with the little cube light, but I was using my phone at certain points. By this point, the cube light was back on, so you can tell now with the intensity of that. Okay, here's one of my favourite shots. Elliot caught up by his leg on the chain with Mike Myers standing there waiting to pounce. Again, Mike Myers is just off the floor. You can just see the white tack underneath his foot. Again, if I would have noticed that by this point yesterday, I was getting pretty tired. But again, I like the fear on Elliot's face. I like the colours. I like the light in the background, adding an extra little bit of contrast to the shot. Okay, I love the colours in this one. Elliot with Jigsaw stood behind him, tied up with chains. It's quite menacing. I think next time I would have probably preferred Jigsaw to be in focus a little bit more, just so you can see, because at the moment he kind of looks a little bit like Dracula. Okay, and I like the fact you can see like a reflection in the floor as well. I had to up the shadows quite a bit on this one because it was quite dark, but then I've upped the texture and clarity just to see the definitive lines between Elliot and the background. But I quite like this one a lot. So same kind of shot, but with Mike Myers in the background. On this I put it into Photoshop and I've added a little bit of haze on the floor, just to kind of take off that shininess a little bit. But again, love the colours on Elliot, love the detail on him. The only thing I probably would have done is made Mike Myers a little bit more in focus, but you can tell who it is. So I could have, in theory, moved Elliot over to the left a little bit, brought Mike Myers forward a little bit so you can see the knife in his hand. Okay, right, so here is a progression from that last shot. You've got Elliot sat in the middle, Mike is now on the left hand side. You can almost see the knife in his hand, but again, you can see just where he's off the floor, which is annoying. But I like the lights on Elliot on this because the way the light's coming through the grate on the left hand side. I did take a few shots without any light on in the back room, but then that just looked like a black door. But adding that light in adds something else to bring your eye into the picture. Okay, and last one is Deadpool, just about to take out. I used the body of the guy from Jurassic World and one of the minifigure heads that I bought on eBay and some hair. I didn't want it to be that guy from Jurassic World, but I like his top. So yeah, Deadpool's got him in the corridor, chained him up, and is about to blow his head off. So yeah, as you can see, we took 45 photos, and 15 of them I think are editable. It did take quite a few hours. Like I'd spent an hour or two building the actual tunnel and working out what I wanted to do. Just about had enough Lego bricks to do what I wanted of the colours I wanted. So yeah, it came out quite well, as you can see from the earlier part of the video. It's not massive, but you can't tell that it's just a tunnel in the photos. Taking the pictures was quite easy. Getting the right lens is key. Like some of my lenses you couldn't really use. I ended up using the majority of the pictures with my Nikon AFS 18-200 3.5 to 5.6. This lens is a beast. It's massive and it's the heaviest lens I've ever held. So what I like about this lens is you can get about, what's it say, the minimum focusing distance is 0.5 of a meter, so you can get in quite close, but because it's got a 200mm zoom on it as well, you can get right in there. I was using at one point my normal kit lens because it's quite narrow, you could actually fit that inside the tunnel, but in the end majority of them were with this lens. Okay guys, well that's another video done, another isolation video. As you can tell, I've been doing quite a lot of them, so I must be quite bored. They're coming along nicely, it kind of kills the time a little bit. Most of these pictures will go on Instagram in the next day or so. I've just posted my first one, which was Mike Myers standing behind Elliot. That one, I quite like that. It's not my favourite of all of them, but it's worthy to go on the Instagram page. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe guys, or go over and like our Instagram page as well. I'm sure there'll be more videos coming soon. Cheers.